Carpe Sus, when hunting up in North Texas, and while checking out my first property of the night, was followed by cattle. Didn't see any hogs, but later on, I was followed by another group of cattle that played significantly into my hunt. Several hours later, and about 15 miles from where I started, found hogs on my southernmost property. Started my stalk, and as I made my way around, I tried to move downwind at the cattle so as to not startle them. But the cattle just came along with me as I was walking towards the hogs. Here I'm continuing to get closer and closer to the hogs, checking their position and noting that the cattle have come along with me and have actually moved into the area that I anticipate the hogs will be going. Now the winds are quite strong, as you can hear, and that has helped hiding me from the hogs. They can't hear me, they can't smell me, and there isn't a moon out, so they probably can't see me either. The exception to this is that every so often a car comes along the highway, lights up the field with its headlights, and I have to duck down and wait for the car to pass. Previously, Dave and I had hunted a sounder on this property, and the sounder had taken off and had run in this direction. That's where I'm anticipating this group to run as well. I have to be careful though that the cattle are back in the pond area, and so I don't want to be shooting in that direction. After scanning back and forth, I've decided that this is going to be my first target. Here we go. And it turned out to be a 130-pound boar. And the hogs take off. And I make the second shot. I scan forward, think I'm going to pick up another hog, see the cattle, come back. I'm hearing the one hog screaming. I miss with the first follow-up, but get it with the second one. I scan for any stragglers. Can't shoot in that direction. And I can't shoot towards the cattle. No other stragglers. I notice this hog is still moving quite a bit. Final check. Still moving. And I put a final shot into it. And this hog turned out to be a 70-pound boar, and I didn't think the hog that I was shooting was that small. So I decided to take a closer look at the video in slow motion. Here I'm swinging ahead to try to pick up this sow right here. Looks like I've got a good lead on her. And what I don't realize at the time is that behind her is a smaller boar. So I make the shot, and on the neck of the sow appears a blood spot, and at the same time on the hip of the boar is also a blood spot. And this is what caused the confusion. My sow starts to stumble here, and the boar is actually going down at this point. She is stumbling along. I see the other hog in front of me, realize it's one that I'd shot previously, and so I move to pick up the other hogs, and then realize I'm getting into an area where I shouldn't be shooting because there's the pond right behind it, and that's where the cattle have gone. And at this point, I have no more new targets. So now I want to take a look at how the Federal Fusion ammo performed on these hogs. I'm going to start with the first boar. Looks like the shot was a little bit low, but if you remember, its head was down when I took the shot, and so the placement was where intended. And peeling back the skin for the area, I noticed there was a lot of blood, and that the bullet looks like it opened up almost immediately upon entry. Flipping the hog over to look at the exit wound, I apologize for the blurry picture. The exit wound appears to correspond with the entry wound on the other side. And peeling back the skin on this side revealed a lot more blood, indicating that a major blood vessel had been broken. As it turned out, the permanent exit wound was about the size of a ping pong ball, and probing the wound channel revealed that the bullet passed beneath the spine, doing no direct physical damage to it. Now this is how I found the second hog. Only one wound is visible on this side of the hog. Flipping it over, though, revealed the first wound, which was to the hip, the entry of which you can clearly see here. And here it gets a little bit weird. There was a lot of blood on the outside, but there's not a lot of blood on the inside. Here in the skin is where the bullet actually entered, and the triangular area here is the permanent damage to the muscle tissue along the lumbar spine. And here's a close-up of that area. The wound is pretty much as deep as you can see. I went ahead and probed it with my fingers and could not find anywhere which the bullet went beyond this area, and I did not find the bullet. So what does this leave us with? This was the wound that initially crippled the hog. There is permanent muscle damage on this side of the spine, but the bullet did not appear to penetrate beyond the spine, and it has either exited the body or is embedded in the spine, and I was simply unable to locate it. All of this after the bullet passed through the neck of a larger sow. The second wound on this hog was not visible externally, but the bullet appeared to have entered about here, and then the bullet exited mid-body here, as you've seen previously. The exit wound did not seem impressive until I peeled back the skin. The bullet entered on the other side, passing between two ribs, and then it smashed into the vertebral column, and then tore out two ribs and surrounding tissue before exiting. And for the final bullet, I have very limited information, as I had run out of gloves, but I noticed that there was blood pooling in the bottom of the thoracic cavity when I was looking for the entry wound for the second bullet. From looking at the video, the bullet entered the top of the neck, passed through, and exited here on the underneath side.
Optics provided by Third Coast Thermal.
Carpe sus, my friends.